My name is Madina Toure. I am a native New Yorker and my family is from Guinea and the Comoros Islands. So a little about me. I am currently a journalist based in New York City. I have been working at Politico since June of 2018. I focus on citywide policy and politics. Before that, I studied political science and French at Barnard College and magazine, newspaper, and online journalism at the Newhouse School at Syracuse University. Additionally, I am involved in the African community in New York City. I've worked with organizations like Miss Guinée USA, where I hosted the pageant and also helped with communications, and Guineans Succeeding in America, where I focus on communications. Another project that is near and dear to my heart is the Black Muslim series. It's a platform that I co-curate with my dear friend Fatou Wade, who is a Gambian American lawyer. I'm very excited to be here today with Bangani to talk about my experiences as a journalist, as well as my connection to the Comorian community. The Black Muslim series is a platform that I co-curate with my dear sister friend Fatou Wade, a Gambian American lawyer. I really just wanted to tell the stories of Black Muslim people as well as highlight their achievements and contributions to Islam. I reached out to Fatou, who is a phenomenal Black Muslim feminist, and she was immediately on board with the project. The project has grown to such big heights that we never imagined, and it's been really exciting to see. And I think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're not used to seeing our stories told. Our long history with Islam and in Islam has not always been showcased and highlighted well, and that's what this series is doing. It's really a project of passion. It's coming from the heart. It's really about celebrating the beauty and the excellence of our people. I would describe myself as open-minded because I'm open to different perspectives and ways of thinking and surround myself with people from all sorts of different backgrounds. I would describe myself as hardworking because I put my all into everything I do. And lastly, I would say that I'm dynamic. I report and write, but I use social media to engage people and inform people about different things. I've hosted pageants and professional conferences. My faith and my diverse background inform a lot of what I think about and what I do. I even participate in an annual musical with journalists where we poke fun at politicians and also raise money for charity. So I have a lot of different perspectives that I bring to the table. If you want to study in the United States, I think the best course of action is to go through the embassy or to contact a mentor who is already in the United States who can help walk you through that process. I can't say that I've been through it myself, but from what I've heard, you definitely have to apply for a visa and fill out applications, pay fees. It's a very intense process, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to face struggles once you arrive in the States, but ultimately it does facilitate the process of you being able to come here and study here. And I will say that I am happy to serve as a mentor or source of support for any Comorians who want to come here and need support and guidance from a fellow Comorian. I would say my family. My mom has shared some amazing stories with my brothers and I when we were growing up about various family members. My mom's uncle, the late Colonel Mahmoud Mwadabi, served in the French army and led the hydrocarbon company of Comoros. He was also involved in Comorian politics. I also admire my grandparents, my late grandfather Abdou Touaibou and my grandmother Fatima Mwadabi Touaibou. My grandfather worked on a boat and often traveled between Moroni and Marseille for the job. Eventually, he took my grandmother, my mom, and my uncle from Moroni to Marseille. This journey happened on a boat, and there were other people on the boat making the same journey, and my mom has faint memories of it because she was 4 years old. They were among a wave of Comorians to arrive in Marseille at the time. At this point in time, I can't say that I have any projects that I'm working on pertaining to the journalism industry in Comoros. However, I am open to collaborating with any Comorian journalists, seeing if there's anything that I can do to support them in the work that they're doing back home. I went to Comoros for the first time at the age of 9 with my family. We went to Grande Comore, to Moroni. It continues to be among my favorite childhood memories. It was a great experience. So talking about traveling to Comoros is definitely something that is exciting to me. If I were to convince someone to go to Comoros, I would tell them about the beaches and how beautiful the islands are. I would also tell them about the food. I mean, you have the pilau rice, you have the chicken coconut sauce with rice, you have the kuskuma, you have sambusa, Fusas, you have Solole, the list goes on and on. I would also tell them about the volcanic islands, which are known as the perfumed islands. Comoros' main exports are vanilla, cloves, and perfume essence. It's the largest producer of ilang ilang, which is an essential oil. Those are some fun facts that might attract people to come. Moreover, Islam is a very big part of Comorian culture. So if you're interested in learning about Islamic history, Comoros might be a great place to go as well. My immediate instinct is to say that I would live in the United States and go back home as much as possible to work on projects or initiatives. It could be a situation where I live here and then maybe I go back home for a certain period of time and work on something. That's what I see for myself right now. And I think about it more in terms of the fact that I have lived here my whole life. I work here and a lot of my activities are here. There aren't a lot of Comorians in the United States, but I do have some Comorians that I know here. Asiati Abdurrahman, she is at the United Nations and she's a family friend. I have my childhood friend Shamira Ibrahim, who is a fantastic culture writer and critic, and Napoleon the Legend, who is Karim Bohan. He is a friend of mine as well, and he's a very talented musician. And there are some other Comorians that I've been chatting with a little bit that I'm following and hoping to get to know more. Faiza Moni is very interesting. She's a decorative interior designer. She runs Ilanga Paris. This is tough. I like both, but if I had to choose, I'd say mataba. Mataba is delicious. I'm a big fan of the pilau rice with the vugay. My mom cooks it very well. It's delicious, but it's hard to narrow down to just one meal. There's a lot of really good Comorian food. First and foremost, you have to do your homework. Research the issue you want to write about. See what's already been written. Really know your stuff. And then you have to figure out who your sources will be. These are individuals who have done work on the issue, who are knowledgeable about the issue, but you also want to make sure you have diversity in terms of race and gender and religion and different types of backgrounds. And make sure you're talking to people who may not necessarily have power, but have a lot of knowledge about a topic. And then when you're doing the interviews, make sure you come in prepared with a few basic questions, but let it be a conversation because you never know what the source may open your eyes to. The story could take a different direction. And then when you're done with the interviews, you want to go through the interviews and assign roles to sources. Find out which one or two quotes are the best or the strongest. And then you want to create an outline. And you have your lead, which is sort of like leading the story, and then the nut graph where you expand a little bit more, and then the body expands even more. And then you have a kicker quote, which kind of wraps up and concludes the story. En termes de conseils pour les jeunes, je dirais d'avoir confiance en soi. C'est parfois difficile de le faire et d'y penser, et moi-même j'ai eu des moments où j'ai eu des difficultés avec ma propre estime et ma confiance en moi-même. Mais cela est très important. Il est vrai que plus nous prenons de l'âge, plus nous acquérons de l'expérience et de la sagesse. Il faut travailler dur, c'est très important. Il faut pouvoir aussi accepter que l'échec fait partie de l'expérience. Ça nous permet d'évoluer et de s'épanouir. Donc, cela est très important. C'était Madina Toure pour Bangani.